Listening to this, then you likely know about the last few days. I want to apologize to everyone I've hurt, but especially.
Hi. I'm Bobby. I'm a robot cat. No doubt many of you have already heard of the recent situation surrounding a YouTuber with roughly 87,000 subscribers who calls herself Zav Girl. She made American national headlines after receiving the unedited autopsy photos of a young murder victim. That 11-year-old boy named Gannon Storch. These images were edited into a video and apparently placed behind a paywall on the YouTuber's Patreon. Both the parents of the lad and their legal team made statements, does ultimately caused her Patreon to be removed. And she has received much public backlash. She issued an apology that fell flat for many. And while she has lost some subscribers, she still maintains support. Of course, she would not be the only creator to pull such a stunt. Notorious true crime couch potato, Natasha Cooper, who currently has just over 1,000 subscribers. However, to be fair, she is on her third or fourth YouTube account, as the platform has terminated her multiple times. Never mind, while Natasha has tripled down that what she did was not wrong, and all for the sake of science, many disagree. You see screen grabs surface of a member of Natasha's paywall platform, allegedly poking fun at the appearance of the deceased child's genitalia, something Natasha has adamantly denied, insisting all of the images she possessed had been cropped down and otherwise redacted. Well, as many of you know, in terms of internet time, this storyline is old news. That is not why we are here. The dumpster fire to follow the initial call out of those two YouTubers has proven quite the rabbit hole indeed. Now, this is meant to be a more easily digestible version of the events. Never mind, within days, various other creators were called out for similar practices. Especially when the images were regarding deceased children. Annie Elise is a true crime YouTuber and podcaster with quite the following. In a relatively short period of time, she skyrocketed from 10,000 subscribers to nearly 900,000. Well, not long after the initial dragging of the first creators to be called out, a YouTuber who calls himself Harsh Reality shared this information.
Annie Elise. Well, Annie Elise is someone who was very sneakily removed amidst the Zav Girl saga. Her own situation that she done the exact same thing with Adrian Jones. That's correct. Adrian Jones, who she uploaded pictures of his... It's the same thing. And hid it behind a $1 paywall. $1 paywall. So look, that's who...
Upon editing this video, 10 to Life has not made a public statement on the subject. As this dumpster fire spreads, more and more internet sleuthers were investigating a multitude of channels, whose primary content was true crime, and then, just like that, the biggest bombshell across these smaller drama and debunking communities. The channel Heels in the Air has allegedly been exposed as problematic internet news outlet. Renews it? Heels in the Air is a faceless channel with 15,000 subscribers. She is quite a popular channel among smaller CRAMA communities. And until recently, was held in a high regard for her moral stance on racism and harassment of victims' families. Well, a channel by the name of The Jerks released this video, which is a compilation of what they claim to be proof that she is actually the owner, or at the very least a contributor to a controversial news blog called Renews It. In the video they highlight the blog's behaviors, especially racism across platforms such as Twitter. The most damning portion of the video evidence would be that when you type in the name of the news rag, Heels in the Air's channel pops up, and the same apparently happens if you search the other way around. Never mind. Well, I prowled over the glarer, who at this point had already come to the defense of Annie Elise, as the pair have a working relationship. Never mind, a recent stream, he plays a bit of a video in which Renews It is on panel as a woman named Vicky. This is what he had to say.
Waiting in the wings, ready to go. Vicky Pate, the investigative blogger. So Vicky, tell us what first drew your attention to Sean King. What was it that you sort of first became interested in, and what did you do? How did you first start exploring the subject?
Well, I've always followed Benjamin Crump, the attorney Benjamin Crump, and his.
That is about 2 seconds more than I needed to realize that that was Heels in the Air, that voice belonged to Heels in the Air.
Now, some argue that she could have simply been a contributor to the outlet, or perhaps it was a swap of channels. I did a bit of a Twitter search. And, perhaps I missed it in the Jerks video, I discovered a Twitter user by the name of Ricky Pate, an apparent play on Vicky Pate. They have been attempting to put this out for some time. As for how the community is reacting, she appears to be receiving little support. And while much damage has been done, I do believe it is important for us to wait and see if she issues a proper response. As of editing my video, this is her community tab post on the topic. To my subs and the creators who haven't capitalized on this SHT show, I will be able to tell you my side and apologize for the chaos soon. Meanwhile, please know that it has been all I can do not to fire up a live. I miss all of you more than you know. I keep hearing I am not taking accountability, but I can't quite put my finger on what I need to take accountability for. Please comment and tell me what you feel I should take accountability for, and I will address when I live stream. As you can imagine, the comments were not favorable. And, it certainly does her no favors that she was originally tossed into this kerfuffle due to her own sharing of children's autopsies. Allegedly. Never mind. It has been quite a lot to follow. If you are new to my channel, I create these TLDRs when these stories require many hours of your time. I do hope this assists my viewers in catching up to date. But, I can assure you this is not over, and perhaps even more shall have happened by the time you view this video. For every action, there is a reaction. It could not be truer of the internet. A seemingly isolated incident involving two piece of shite YouTubers has become this, my dear viewers, before following the court of public opinion. I encourage you all to follow this yourselves and conduct your own research. All videos mentioned are linked below. Cheers.